Hello, I'm Lenny McGill with Glock Store, and today we're going to talk about the Gen 4 system for your Glock and the recoil rod that comes with the Gen 4. Now, most of you know that the new Gen 4 comes with a dual spring guide rod system. Dual springs because there are two different springs. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Of course, the Gen 3 features a single spring that is captured on a plastic rod. And this happens to be our stainless steel guide rod. It's captured on a stainless steel rod, and the added weight of the stainless steel allows you to shoot the gun more accurately because it helps reduce recoil and manage the muzzle flip. That added weight and the extra part out here helps you keep the gun online from shot to shot. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that the new dual spring guide rod system is also based on a plastic rod. So we have now developed a stainless steel dual spring rod that is available for the Gen 4 guns. So let's go ahead and take this gun apart and we'll get at it. This is a brand new Gen 4 Glock 17. One of the things I want to point out real quickly, a lot of people say, well, how do I know if I have a Gen 4? Well, if you look on the side of the gun, Gen 4. All right, so that's how you know you have a Gen 4 gun. The other way you can tell if you have a Gen 4 gun, and just without taking it apart, is to look at the front of the frame, and you'll see that there's a larger hole here, and the slide apparatus where the guide rod itself sticks out. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and disassemble this gun. First of all, I wanted you to know that there is no ammunition in this room. This is my work room where I do my videos, and when I'm working with guns, whether cleaning or doing these demonstrations, I always keep the ammunition away from the gun. And in fact, there are no magazines here that are loaded so that I can't inadvertently load it. Now, let me tell you, the more you work with guns, and the more you do this, and the more you point and shoot and dry fire, and the more automatic it becomes. So you always want to be very careful to eliminate that automatic response of loading the gun when you don't want to, in a sense, and being aware that there's no ammunition really on this workbench whatsoever. So I'm going to pull the trigger now in a safe direction. First of all, pull the slide back, keeping my finger off the trigger, looking inside the chamber. Gun is empty, no magazine, and now it's safe. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the slide by, again, pinching up on top, pulling the slide back just about a quarter of an inch, and then coming up here on the takedown lever, which is the slide stop lever, and pull that down, and then release the slide. I can push it forward with my thumb, and off comes the upper half. That is the frame. This is the lower half, or excuse me, the upper half, which is the slide. A couple things I want to show you today. First of all, there's that dual spring guide rod we talked about. Okay, it's a plastic rod with a kind of a stamped steel sleeve over top of it on which this spring rides. All right, and to remove that, I'm going to compress the spring somewhat with my thumb and lift it out. So that is the factory dual spring guide rod, and this is a brand new gun. Okay, not a whole lot of rounds been shot through it, but I want to show you something here, which I found really interesting. When I put this down, you'll note it does not stand up perfectly straight. It's a little crooked or bent down there at the bottom. See that? You know, that's just because this steel down here, or this stamped sheet metal is basically what it is cheap. And I hate to say that about Glock, but you know, that's not really great. I've had a couple people call already who are waiting for the stainless steel guide rod because it's much more stout. And even if you can just tell right here, the thickness of this bottom piece versus that piece right there, it's basically about twice as thick and much more stronger in a sense. The other thing too now, of course, is the weight. The plastic guide rod, I weighed out 19.99 grams, so say 20 grams. Stainless steel is 42, so it's basically twice the weight. You can feel it not only in your hands, but you feel it when you shoot it, because that added weight will reduce the muzzle or the recoil and help you manage muzzle flip. So of course you have to have a good grip and all that other stuff, but just that added weight out there helps you keep that gun on target from shot to shot. So there is the stainless steel dual spring guide rod that we have just developed for the Glock 17 and Glock 22 and Glock 31, and soon to be available for the 19, 23, 32, as well as the 26 and 27. And this is just a drop-in part. Again, Drop it in like so, compress the spring, and there it is, ready to fly back on. Now, another thing I do want to show you, and I've shown it in some of the other videos as well, an adapter ring for the Gen 4 guns that allows you to run the Gen 3 guide rods in it. And here's how it works. I'm going to take this guy out. So we take this adapter ring and we just plug it into the front from the gun side in, from the inside out, of the front of the slide. So now it reduces the size of the hole. And now I take a Gen 3 guide rod, which is this guy right here. Okay? And I'm going to drop that right into the gun. Very simple. And get it lined up, compress the spring a little bit, and push it in. So that's how that looks. So a couple neat options for you Gen 4 owners. Obviously, Glock went to the dual spring guide rod system because it is proven to reduce recoil somewhat. All right? Just the fact that there's two springs are going to eat up some of the actual recoil, felt recoil. I believe it still needs this added weight to help you manage that muzzle flip and to be able to shoot the multiple shots more accurately, that second, third, fourth shot on the same target, faster because the gun's not jumping all over the place. So that's one other option. There's the recoil spring adapter that you can put into the Gen 4 guns to allow you to ride and run with the different spring weights that we have this available as well as the tungsten rods too, if you want to go to the heavy tungsten. And we will certainly soon have the dual spring rod available in tungsten as well. So for you Gen 4 owners, that's a great option, and I know a lot of people are waiting for it because they are calling for it. So they are now available, and I do appreciate you asking for it. And once it's on, I'm just going to go ahead and feels good, and it shoots even better. Thanks for watching. I'm Lenny McGill. See you next time.